Morning. Yeah, welcome back. Another beautiful day. No sign of rain at the moment, so we're just marching forward with sowing. A bit of dust kicking around. Don't think this will come up what we're planning, but anyway. Got about 20 hectares left to do in this paddock. I've sort of got going about 6:15, so one of the guys will come out and hop on in a minute. Just running, sort of just trying to work the rate back and make sure the rate's going on right. So we're saying at 2.5 kilos, although the monitor's only saying 2, if you can see that. 2 kilos. So what I've sort of done is, what we usually do is just to keep an eye on it, we only tip in, rather than tipping 10 bags in, we just tip, 4 bags in, and those 4 bags we should do whatever that is, I think 24 hectares or something like that, so whatever I tipped in, 3 or 4, anyway, I can't remember. So we're about 22 now, so I don't know. The beauty of the camera in the box is we can basically run that right down to empty. So basically by doing that, I know the rate's right, and because the seed's so expensive, which I've mentioned, we're going on the right rate and not wasting seed. So here we're going to move into one of our contracting jobs in on the edge of Baruga, and then back on to more contracting work. So we're on the sort of contracting trail now for a few days. Corns, if you watched the last one, corns at 16%, so we need to get it back to 15. Back to 14. There is a bit of a blip on the weather forecast for next week, just 5 mil. I haven't looked again this morning. Excuse me. So we'll just see if it looks like, if it develops into 25 or 30, we might slip in and get organised and slip in and harvest that corn and get out of the road. One of the problems we've got at the moment is the bloody door's locked on the header. So again, if you watched the last one, I don't know what's happened, but the barrel's fallen out of the push button on the lock of the door. I can't get into it. So thankfully the header wasn't running. Otherwise I don't know what we would have done. So I'll have to try and get a screwdriver or something and try and get into that door today, so we can. It's got a box full of corn in it, and it's standing out in the paddock, so fun and games. So a bit of other stuff. We've got a bit of grader boarding to do. Electric fences we set up across the pivot. We're going to pull them down. Most of those ewes have lambed, and the 2 mobs, I don't know whether the tape's about buggered or what, but a couple of the tapes sort of broke and they got a bit mixed up. So it's been working out all right because we haven't had to go near them anymore. We're checking them, but we're not trail feeding them. So we're not stirring them up too much. So they seem to be mothering up pretty well. But if it's not going to rain, we'll probably run that loosened pivot round just to keep that loosened going, whether we give it 25 or 30 mil. The other pivot where we sowed the canola in, I haven't actually looked. I assume it's finished. We just put 13 mil on it. So hopefully a few days time we should be going alright, but I'm going to try and do a drive round today, do a drive round today and look at some of the crop and loosening that we've sown and just see how it's going and give you guys a bit of a square up on where it's all up to. I think I've shown you this, but I've just chucked some more canola seed in. What we do is we do what we call a prime, so we just run some fertiliser and seed out, just to make sure we don't have any blocked tubes. So we did have, the other day we had a fertiliser, we actually had a dead rat in a fertiliser tube. We've got sensors. You can see the little dome up the top there, on the seed if we've got a seed blockage, but we don't on the fert. So you just got to have a physical look. Just making sure you can see the purple seed there on the ground, and then the fertiliser. So again, if you haven't seen our sowing setup, this is it. So fertiliser at the front, seed at the back. We adjust our seed depth by altering that tube, and then the press wheel follows the ground. That works on a a parallelogram. I can't pull that up. As you can see, it just follows the ground. It does need rebushing, the bar. You can see we've got a bit of movement. So anyway, we're not a precision seed. Well, they call it a precision seeding system, but we're not. We're a seeding system at the moment. We've lost the precision. So anyway, so no, plenty of seed on the ground. So yeah, no, all looks good at the moment. Alright, so we've got a bit of country worked up here. It's a bit rough. What we've got is a grader board, so I think I've spoken about this before. It's a bit of a man-killing thing to unpack, is its only downfall, but it's good for levelling off rough country. And a few of the stubbles we've burnt, we've already put this over it, but we're gonna put it over it again. So yeah, I'll get to it and fold it out. Sorry about the wind. So yeah, just got to see it's just got single or two lines to the tractor for the hydraulics, and then it's got yeah, a couple of taps here just to divert from the ground wheels to the when it's in working position, and then it's just got a hydraulic cylinder here in the middle. Sorry, I'm just putting this back together. Yeah, and you essentially just can roll it forward to empty it, or roll it back to drag more dirt. Anyway, we'll get cracking here, and Brendan's about finished out sowing, so Tony's just checking some sheep. I just thought I'd come over and set this up, and yeah, while he was doing that, he's going to pick me up, and then we'll move the air seeder. So yeah, so here we go. It's plenty of dust. Not sure how well you can see the difference, but we'll do it a couple of times. But yeah, that's sort of the worked ground as opposed to the where we boarded it. So yeah, we'll do it one way, and then we'll hit it on a different angle, and that'll do a pretty good job with it then. So doesn't like sort of grass or that sort of stuff. This thing, it tends to drag, whereas yeah, when the ground's sort of bare like it is, yeah, it sort of does a really good job. So it's just a bit of a reset here. So yeah, just got a bit rough on that. So just some old pasture country. So anyway, it's it's not going to rain. We might as well take advantage of it, because once obviously when it gets too wet, we can't same thing. We can't do it. It drags too much. So yeah. So no, it doesn't look, as I think I said, it doesn't look like it's going to rain for the next 10 or 12 days. So yeah, we'll try and get on and do a few of these jobs while we can. It's been one of those days a bit. We got shifted into town and been waiting on the fertiliser to turn up, which look, it wasn't the end of the world, but I was hoping it might have been 2 o'clock rather than 4 o'clock. So I went back and did a bit of grader boarding. Tony, he got spraying, so we got that block sprayed, which is good. And we've got to do another job in next door in the morning while we're in there. And yeah, so time we got the seeder filled and calibrated and that sort of stuff, Brendan knocked off. So my ute was actually at home, so I got Tony to run me home, and I had a share and had some dinner, and I'm just sitting back in there now. So doesn't always go to plan. It just, yeah, sometimes things take a bit longer than what they should, but anyway, that's the way it is. Pretty good going in here. It's 60 hectares in one block, and then 2 20s, so it's about 105 hectares. So but the 60's got a pivot in it, so it's one big block, no trees, that sort of stuff, so good long runs. So yeah, it's about 6 o'clock now, so I'll get going, and look, we might do 3 or 4 hours if I can get 24 hectares or something like that. That's 3 bags of seed at 2.5 kilos, so we can get that sown out, and then we can get back in there in the morning and get going. Just went down and looked at the next contracting job. It's sort of good to go, and also we've got hay down there to press as well, believe it or not, in April. So once I get the guys set up in the morning, get Brendan on the seeder, and Tony's going to get organised spraying, I'll grab the Magnum off the grader board and come back and put it on the big baler, and I'll go in and get that hay in a pile and get it out of the road. So it'll be a bit high moisture, but because they're feeding it to the cows straight away, it's not going to matter too much. So anyway, busy. It's worked out all right that corn's still a bit green, because it just takes the pressure off trying to get it harvested as well, and it doesn't look like it's going to rain, so we'll just keep chipping away at it. Rolling along pretty well. She's a bit deja vu-y at the moment. Anyway, it's going to go for a while yet. Having a bit of trouble in here. I don't know whether you probably can't see it for the reflection of the screens, but we're just right on the edge of town here. But for whatever reason, we've got a row of trees down the driveway here, and we lose GPS signal. We're just on the outer, so the last sort of 100 metres, not even probably. It is getting better the further I'm heading east-west at the moment. Further north I go, it does improve. So, but yeah, it's just a bit of a shadow there from the trees, which is making it, it's a bit of a pain in the backside anyway. But we are sowing on the inner row. We've just moved over 125 mil. They did cut the stubble off, cut and baled the stubble off here. So there is the odd pile of stubble from where the baler's missed and that in spots, but I haven't had to lift up or turn around or anything. It's working its way through. So I don't know whether you can see when I talk on the inner row, we're actually sowing in between the last year's 2 rows. So we've moved the GPS line over. We're 250 mil centres. Sorry, turn that off. So yeah, we've moved the line over 125 mil. So we're just sowing in between last year's rows. So it seems to work pretty well. But yeah, we're just having that bit of an issue with the GPS at the other end. Alright, knock off time again. It's, I don't know, a bit after 10 o'clock, but I'll try and get back here by 5:30 or 6 a.m. in the morning. Being in town, or on the edge of town, we might even do an early morning bakery call and coffee and egg and bacon roll. One of the perks of working on the edge of town. But anyway, so you got 23 hectares out, I think, so may have to adjust the seed a little bit. I think we're just going on a fraction light, but that's cool. That's why we just tipped, put 60 kilos in, so we know we can keep track of the seed rate. So I'll just keep banging on about that, but it's pretty good. So anyway, thanks again. We'll see you next one. Ta-da.